So just pronounce your names and the name of the band.
Okay, I'm Matt Roland, and the band name is RISO.
And I'm Rebekah Rolland.
All right. Welcome to Country Pocket. Today is our debut in the 11 a.m. slot. So, real exciting to have a couple of great guests to help us break into a new audience. Matt and Rebekah Rolland are here, and their band is called RISO. Um, Tell me about what it was like growing up attending some of the same music festivals.
Yeah, so both Rebecca and I grew up here in Arizona. We're based in Tucson, Arizona now, and we she grew up in the Payson area, and I grew up in the Phoenix area, and we both came from musical families, and so we ended up going to a lot of the same music festivals as kids. And we were crossing paths, bluegrass festivals and fiddle contests. It's not a huge community, that's interested in old time music and bluegrass music and kind of traditional Americana music here in Arizona. But the festivals that we do have, and the fans we do have, are really good. So um, it was a lot of fun getting to know each other as kids. And when we got to college, that's when we started playing music together. It was at the University of Arizona because, again, you just seek out any person that kind of loves the same style of music and traditions of music, and so we started playing together then.
And I just remember the year being punctuated by these festivals, and I look forward to it so much because you go and you stay for 3 days and you camp and you meet other families who play acoustic music, and everybody knows a lot of the same songs and have a lot of the same repertoire, but you also swap songs and learn new songs and learn about new albums and new bands. And so it was just a time of being able to, exchange really exciting musical information basically, and form collaborations and just play a lot of music. Just a fun casual time. And we had a series of Arizona bluegrass festivals that brought out national acts. And so it was usually a weekend of really, really good music. Like Special Consensus was a regular act that we saw. And um, there was a set of twins that played back in the day, the Shankman twins. And they came out quite a bit. And then in the early days, Nickel Creek played. And that was back in like the late 90s. But, that was our first exposure to Nickel Creek. So they were just really fun festivals.
I can tell you guys have listened to Nickel Creek.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're big influences.
Um, so the name of your album, by the way, is New Eyes, and the first song I played to open the show is called Closer. Um, Getting into that whole topic, tell me when you realized you were looking at more than just a bandmate.
Oh my goodness. Uh, well, I mean, when we started playing in college, we connected really easily and on like a musical and just social level. So I think we crushed on each other for a long time in college. Even we played music for 2 or 3 years before we connected romantically. But yeah, it happened we had some chemistry early on.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that completely.
So that song, the longing in the song, that's 2 or 3 years worth built up right there.
Yeah, well, the song was written retrospectively, like several years later. But I think it's not necessarily specifically about us, but it is about that feeling of being really young and having just, I don't know, being kind of that being a very overwhelming feeling when you experience it for the first time, like that kind of just attraction to a person and chemistry with a person. And I was, when I wrote that song, I was reading a specific novel that inspired kind of those feelings, and it kind of made me feel really nostalgic for that period in my life and that season. So yeah, it kind of came out of that.
So I don't necessarily get a chance to share literary influences with my audience, but I am lucky enough to be able to share some musical influences. You guys mentioned Nickel Creek, so I'm going to have. I do this on every show,
Mm-hmm.
and I give the guests an opportunity to pick a song other than their own for me to play. Um, I throw in a little category, and I'm going to put a little twist on the typical. I'm not just going to ask, "Oh, what's one of your influences?" because that would be boring. Um, so I'm going to put a twist on it and shift it to each of you naming a song that is a heavy influence on the other. And then you guys get to check in with each other and see how well you did.
Ooh,
This is a
okay.
fun. This is a fun
So
game on live radio.
I will say a song that I think has influenced Matt really.
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay. I have one.
Okay, you go first, Beck.
I'm gonna say "Raining at Sunset"
Mm,
by Chris Thiele on the Not All Who Wander Are Lost album.
that's a great pick. That is a road trip song for me for my formative teenage years. That's wrapped up with a lot of books and road trips for me. All right, I'm gonna send an Aoife O'Donovan song for Rebekah and choose "In the Magic Hour."
That's a great one. Absolutely. Listen to it a bajillion times. Love the production. Love the layers.
Yeah, I
Love the.
have that. I actually have that signed vinyl underneath the glass in my coffee table.
Mm, good pick.
Nice. It's
Yeah.
it's one of my albums ever. So good.
So, yeah, you both seem to have won, but Matt's choice, Rebecca's music, definitely has won me over more. We will listen to those two, and we'll be right back to talk about a couple more tracks on the new RISO album, New Eyes.